So we're here today with, I consider this a failed product. I looked up the price on TCG Player. Um, I believe it's less currently now than the retail price when it came out. I believe this came out 2 years ago. This is their sort of first attempt at a premium supplemental product. They had done smaller starter or blitz decks, but those were very much designed as an introductory product. And this is sort of a more premium version of that. I think this is their first time attempting to create a sort of out of the box competitive deck, which, as far as I'm aware, they can succeeded at that because I played against a friend with one of the introductory decks while they had one from this box, and let me tell you, that was not a fun experience. Although, as far as how they fared against other competitive decks, I do not know, but at least as far as fighting against the introductory decks, was definitely one or two cuts above. I know they have attempted later versions of this product, I believe, the Armory decks. I have not attempted to get any of those. I don't know how they compare. The reason I consider this a failed product, well, for a couple reasons. First of all, there was like at first a shortage, which caused prices to skyrocket, which I thankfully did not buy any of. I waited till it went back down to retail price, but there was, due to that speculative bubble around this product, and then they overcorrected and printed it basically into the ground. Whereas, like I said, even today, 2 years later, where you could typically expect a product to start appreciating, it's worth less than the retail value. Also, as far as on another level, I don't really think it set out or reached the goal it set out to do, as evidenced by that there was no follow-up product to this. So, designed for new players, choose your champion. Another part is that one of these decks, Dorinthia's, is, at least from my experience, a lot better than Reinar's. So, choose your champion, Dornithia or Reinar. Reprise. Masters of close combat warriors can simply punish the enemy when they attempt to defend him. Yes, that was my experience. Reinar, intimidate. Fear. More powerful than Tooth and Claw or Club, immobilize your enemies with your terrifying bellows. Dornithia, the Dawnblade. Your beloved Dawnblade is the centerpiece of your deck and will lead you to victory. Reinar, King of the Jungle, roam the savage lands as an unstoppable apex predator. His first instinct is to attack to kill. Dornithia spreads the light with blessings of soul. It's up to you to protect the innocents and uphold the light. Reinar, strong survive, strength rules all. Your attacks with 6 or more power enable powerful effects. Contents: 2 ready-to-play 40-card blitz decks, plus hero weapon and equipment cards, mini lore book, paper plano. So, this is it's interesting. The seals are quite gummy and just sort of tear apart. Don't know if that's due to the age or just the nature of the seals. I have a. Yeah, I might just resort to. Yeah, that's like the first time I've encountered a seal like that because, like, just falls apart. Yeah, there it goes. So I won't really open the playmat. I don't, or maybe I will. No, I don't think there's. I think it's just like very, at least from what I remember, just very bland. Nothing special about it. I don't think there's really even art. No, I'm not sure if I ever actually read through this sort of lore book. Solana entered an era of peace and prosperity at the end of the Great Wars. The last of its great defenses completed, its people were watched over by noble protectors and lived in peace and harmony. Yet a strange wind has begun to stir once more, sowing seeds of unrest across the continent. Strangers from the east bring. Is that? Yeah, that is a typo. Bring with them unusual customs and mystic rites. To the south, blasphemous cults gather, driven by greed and gluttony. Worst of all, savage packs of the west gather near the outskirts of the jungle, creeping ever closer to the villages under Solana's protection. Amidst the brewing storm, the Hand of Soul gathers in ever larger patrols, permanently stationed knights in villages across the golden fields as herbal beasts begin to emerge. Solana's scholars continue to search for a possible cause, while the Knights of the Hand of Soul defend the innocents from the horrors that threaten to overwhelm them all. I'm not sure how much of this I actually want to read. I was planning on just a very. Oh, okay. I do. Actually, I think I did read this. So I forgot the. It's, which I thought was a nice touch, the sort of. We'll just do a quick look through because I was planning on just a very short stream, so we don't really have time to read through this. So, in the name of Soul, I swear I shall serve Solana to the best of my ability until death release me of this sacred duty. So I will protect Solana and all those who live within its walls by the blessed light. I shall carry out this oath, and never shall I knowingly or willingly violate this, my solemn oath as obligation as Lieutenant of Solano, outstretched hand of soul by the glorious soul's name. So shall it be. Praise the sun, Dorothea and song. And quick look at Reiner. Guess I'll read his little opening since I did the other side. A vast primordial jungle, the savage lands are uncharted by any map, and its true size remains unknown. Ancient trees tower above the crowded canopy, casting shadows on saplings struggling towards the light. The dense vegetation casts a heavy blanket of silence over the jungle, broken only by the sounds of massive beasts crashing through the undergrowth. Deep within the jungle, savage predators prowl through the shadows, while vicious scavengers fight to death over scraps of meat. Others that call this place home, from the smallest insect to largest tree, must fight tooth and nail for their continued survival. With creatures venturing further and further beyond the jungle's outer limits, wandering into golden fields and attacking villages, the council have sought out the help of their great protectors. Shining knights march into the jungles, hacking down anything that crosses their path. The beasts of the savage lands seek out the intruders, preying on any warrior who leaves themselves open to attack. As tensions begin to rise, the jungle itself seems to be stirring, preparing to eliminate any human that steps within its bounds. Looks pretty peaceful considering the description. Then it looks like Reiner doesn't get any quote for the centerfold. So we'll do Reiner first. Bone Vizier. When Bone Vizier is destroyed, fill the top card of your deck. If it has 6 or more power, I think, put it on the top of your deck. Otherwise, put it on the bottom. Blade Break. When this combat chain closes, if this defended, destroy it. Blossom of Spring. I don't know about now, but I believe at the time this was a staple in a lot of decks. I might be confusing it for something else. Action, destroy Blossom of Spring, gain, I think that's like energy, and go again. Generic equipment chest, 0 defense. Oh, the Vizier had 1. Ironhide Gauntlet. When you defend with Ironhide Gauntlet, you may pay red. If you do, it gains +2, and when the combat chain closes, destroy Ironblade Gauntlet. Ironhide Legs. Yeah, the exact same effect. And our centerpiece, Reinar. Whenever you discard a card with 6 or more power, during your action phase, intimidate Brute Hero Young, which the Young, I believe, is more or less just because this is for the Blitz format. Blitz, you could only use young heroes. Intimidate. Reiner is an apex predator. He uses his imposing presence and fearsome bellows to intimidate all who cross his path. In playing Reiner, your goal to intimidate the opponent multiple times in a single turn, leaving them defenseless. There are many cards with Intimidate, including Reiner himself. Intimidate means to target hero banishing face down a random card from their hand. At the beginning of the end phase, return the card to its owner's hand. Yeah, that is sort of. I think this is his adult version. But there's like a. Do you like sort of being annoyed with like the other Blitz decks too, because they'd all have like this full art version of their adult card where it's like, oh, look at this, it's the card you really want to play from the regular formats. So your weapon, Bone Basher, once per turn, 2 red attack, and has 4 power naturally. Brute Weapon Club. And this is, I believe, and I believe this set, did it come out after Tales of Aria? I believe it came out either between Monarch and Tales of Aria, or between Tales of Aria and the Carnival set. But mentors were a relatively new addition to the game. I think you basically can only have one. You can only play it if you're playing in Blitz, I believe. Or, well, if your hero is young, which young heroes are basically only used for Blitz. Well, at least they were at the time. I really haven't kept up with developments after sort of Dusk and Dawn. I think that's like really the last set I paid close attention to. So you may have Rook to 10 in your deck if your hero is young. While Rukutan is face down in Arsenal at the start of your turn, you may turn him face up. While Rukutan is face up in Arsenal, whenever you play a card with 6 or more, power Intimidate and put a lesson counter on him. If there are 2 or more lesson counters on Rukutan, banish him and search for your deck for Alpha Rampage. Put it face up in your arsenal and shuffle. And Alpha Rampage, conveniently, Reiner Specialization. You may only have Alpha Rampage in your deck if your hero is Reiner. As an additional cost to play Alpha Rampage, discard a random card. When you attack with Alpha Rampage, Intimidate. It's, yeah, you do not want to be getting hit by that, especially on defended. And it also has a pretty hefty block power. That is interesting, though, that, yeah, I am remembering right, that basically all of these versions are the red version, because, as you see, each card has 3 different versions it can come as, and red is usually, at least it used to be, I don't know about now, considered the worst, as it's the middling value, because I think it's yellow is you can use it as one resource, but the values are higher usually, and blue you can use it for higher resources, but the value, yeah. So like this is a blue version of the card. So it's value is lower there, but you can sort of use it for more resources. But red is, the worst of both. So I wonder, I don't know if there's, you know, much reasons to play with, except for your preference, at least as far as the rules for deck building are concerned. I've never actually, well, I looked into building some decks around this time, but it wasn't cheap. The heroes I was interested in playing with, it was basically at the time impossible to build a competitive deck with them for less than $300, which at that time I couldn't really consider. But so the familiar Iron Rot series, this one doesn't seem to have the resource generating effect, but simply when you defend with it, it breaks, has a defense value of 1. The familiar Blossom of Spring. So Gallantry Gold. Action, destroy Gallantry Gold. Your weapon attacks gain +1 power. Go again. Battle Worn. When this combat chain closes, if this defendant put a negative counter on it. Well, and it only has the 1, so. But that is slightly different than the breaking. And then familiar Iron Rot. Then our hero, Dorinthia Quicksilver Prodigy. The first time Dawnblade Resplendent gains go again each turn. You may attack an additional time with it each turn. And your, as mentioned, Dawnblade Resplendent, once per turn, attack. The second time you attack with Dawnblade each turn, it gains +1 power until end of turn. And your mentor, Hala Golden Helm. You may only have Hala in your deck if your hero is young. When Hala is face up in Arsenal, whenever a sword attack you control hits, it gains Go again, and put a lesson on Hala. If there are 2 or more lessons on Hala, banish her. Search your deck for Glistening Steelblade, put it face up in Arsenal, and shuffle. Glistening Steelblade. Dorinthia Specialization. You may only have Glistening Steelblade in your deck if your hero is Dorinthia. Your next Dawnblade attack this turn has Go again. Whenever Dawnblade hits a hero this turn, put a +1 counter on it. And it has Go again, of course. Yeah, again, you just have these middling value cards. Which, I mean, I guess maybe because it's designed for new players that they wanted you to have the flexibility to not feel like you're missing out whenever you're getting a maximum or minimum value card. Oh, that's interesting. That I mean, maybe they just considered it sort of self-evident that they didn't give you an explanation card about her sort of key mechanic go again, whereas they did for Reiner. That's it. It's a bit sad because I think like it is sort of a excellent introductory product if they hadn't mismanaged the release and overcorrected later. I think this could have been a sort of keystone product for them, but sadly they really mishandled it, and now it's kind of forgotten thing that never really got followed up on. So that's, oh, well, no, I was planning on maybe doing the weekly reading, but this was a bit more involved than I was expecting. So we'll go ahead and end this here. Next stream will probably be tomorrow. I think we'll be back to Mothership.